Hello, everybody, and welcome in to Fire and Bloom, a House of the Dragon podcast by us, the Penny Bloom podcast. We are back for the first time since October 24th, 2022. That's a full Game of Thrones rewatch ago, baby, and then some. I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? It is always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And man, we loved House of the Dragon season one so much. We were riding so high off New Thrones that we were like, why stop there? Let's get it popping for the next 76 weeks. Let's go ahead and do a full Game of Thrones rewatch between seasons. We did it, and we're finally arriving. Next Sunday is the premiere of House of the Dragon season two. How are you feeling?
Kind of doesn't even feel real now that we are getting new thrones. I don't know if I have just like maybe it has just been such a regular in my life for so long that it's kind of like almost expected to come. Like
Right,
it's almost like
right.
it's almost like I need it to come out every week now. But no, especially after rewatching season one, I'm reinvigorated. I am much
Oh,
more excited. I'm not gonna lie, I was excited just because it was more Thrones. I wasn't excited because it was season two of House of the Dragon, but after the
right, right.
rewatch, I am much more excited that it
Mm.
is the continuation of this story. Like it's
Yeah, yeah. No,
yeah.
I mean, we are like, we picked up some fucking steam at the end of season one, and it was a pleasure to revisit.
Mm,
That was the homework me and Joseph had ahead of season two.
mm-hmm.
Naturally, was, we've done a full Game of Thrones rewatch since then. What's 10 more episodes of TV? Go ahead and check them out. We didn't even have to cover them, but now we're here,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to talk about season one a little bit in hindsight, the excitement of season one of getting it week to week really, really, really helped it, I think. I not to say that I think the show upon revisiting was not good. I thought it was good. I thought it was well
Mm-hmm.
made. I thought it was well performed. I thought it was well done. But those first five episodes do not hit like the last five episodes. Um, Not even close, in fact. Um,
Mm-mm.
I think
No.
there was a degree of just like we hadn't had Thrones in our lives in 3 years. Let's get it popping. Let's get it back in here. And
Mm-hmm.
it was very exciting. It was super exciting, and it's still a joy. It was still a joy to revisit. I love Millie Alcock. I think that she's wonderful, and I'm so excited to see her eventually play uh Supergirl. She's going to be the DCU
Mm.
Supergirl, the
Mm-hmm.
young Rhaenyra, which is very cool.
Perfect.
But that steady cast of the older actors with Patty Considine, Matt Smith, um, and just rounding it out with Risa Fons and all the other regular players. Wow, they are fucking good, dude. And is there anything that stood out in this rewatch that you feel might not have stood out to you the first time around?
Lord Strong. I don't know why. I mean, I feel like I was just like, okay, not like hugely, and he was like the main glaring, like, oh my god, wow, I love him so much. But like, I don't know why I didn't really focus on. I feel like I hated his character before. I don't know why. Like, just for some reason, I just kind of like, whatever. But dude was always just kind of like,
He's a steady force.
I'm
He
gonna
is a
give
steady
the
force.
yeah the steady answer, whatever, and but no, I think Patty Considine, just,
Oh, dude.
I mean, he was just incredible every time he was on screen, and then especially whenever he's nearing the end of his life, and like he's just trying anything he can do to just set things right, and at least in his head, um, probably he probably thinks things are gonna be okay. I'd say like he. I don't know. I wonder what Varys just thinks at the very end. What he thinks
Yeah.
is the next
I
like
I
5 years.
I like to think that he believes he's brought the houses together. I think when he is getting carried out of that room
Mm,
it is. I think that's why he dies that
He's
night.
like, I can die. He's like,
Yeah.
I've done it. You know, I have.
I think he's like, I did what I wanted to do. I gathered those people that I love. Like in that scene when he stands up and he's like, I want you to see me as I really am, not as your king, but as your father and your brother and your grandsire. And he says how much he loves each and every one of them and he hates to see them so divided. Dude, Paddy Considine is just incredible as Viserys. And it is so sad that I mean, obviously, similar to Ned Stark in season one, he's the launching off point. He is the we're getting the ball rolling,
Mm-hmm.
character, and he is the one you love. He's the one you care about. So he had to go, but goddamn, did it suck that he
Man,
went? It
it's kind of the opposite with Ned, though. Ned, he was so critical that you're like, no way he dies. You're like, there's no way. This guy's the main dude.
that's true. Viserys, you were
And
like,
you're
this
like,
motherfucker is going to
we
die
ever I remember that. That was the one thing I remember from our coverage is we're like, all right,
every
he's
week.
dying next week. We're like, all right, yeah, no, he has to be dead
Yeah.
next week. Like for sure he's
From
dead.
five,
And
I think from episode 5 through 8, we were like, okay, like
we're
can't be
like,
much longer
we
now,
might have
right?
jumped the gun, but this
Yeah.
week or next week he's definitely dying. Nope. One
Yeah.
more. And then like he got healthier a little bit. Like I remember like he was looking bad, and then he kind of like
Yeah, like between
freshened
five, I
up
think
like a
between
little.
episode 6 to 7, 7 looked a little better than 6, and then
Mm-hmm.
8 was like another 6 year time jump, and you're like, oh, it's bad again. Oh, it's
Yeah.
really fucking bad.
Bad.
Um,
But
yeah, no, and I mean
that
that's some incredible a blend of VFX and prosthetic work, whenever he
yeah.
is skin and bone at the end of his life, he's in the holes in his back and the holes in his
Oh
face and
yeah.
just
A Harvey Dent
dude.
kind of like
Yeah,
it's
a
a
little
really
bit, a
cool
little
look
bit.
at it's crazy the difference is Harvey Dent, in a Christopher Nolan Batman movie versus a TV show, an episode for a television show instead of a huge production movie and what we can do now. And I think it's crazy that it just looked, I mean, it looked disgusting, but it looked really good. It was a really good disgusting, like the just seeing
Oh yeah.
through his mouth. And then like
Ooh,
whenever he would like take drinks, he would have to like wipe the side of his mouth because it would just drip through and just like go
ooh.
through.
Yeah.
And
Grotesque. But no, like, and that's
but
yeah, he was so good. And I mean like the other standouts for me that were like, and Patty Considine, I recognized how fucking good he was the first time around. Um and it's not that I didn't recognize any of these other people, but god damn, Emma Darcy and Olivia Cook.
hmm,
God damn, are they so fucking good, dude. I absolutely adore specifically Emma Darcy. I think that Emma Darcy brings something to the role of Rhaenyra, and it's such a perfect aged up version of Millie Alcock also. Like there are
yeah.
shots every once in a while where I'm like, are they doing something here?
They had
Like
to. I don't
like
know. The hairline, the forehead, there were like
dude,
certain features that
I
were
mean the
like,
wig,
yeah,
they're wearing wigs, like
that's
they
true.
can control hairline. But
That's
like
true. Maybe that was what was because that's what I noticed. I'm like,
every once in a
it
while the
was,
nose though and the
hmm,
eye, it was usually whenever they were whenever Emma Darcy was like not silhouetted but lit dramatically. Anytime she was lit dramatically, she looked a lot like Millie Alcock. Now,
yeah.
or they looked a lot like Millie Alcock. Obviously, in the flat lighting, Emma Darcy looked a lot. I mean, much more singular. They both did. But yeah, no, Emma Darcy,
Hmm.
they're just fucking incredible as Rhaenyra, dude. And I think that last shot that we end on, oh, oh, god damn, does that get me fucking rolling,
The
dude?
slowest
Um,
burn too. Like you're like now on rewatch, I'm like, I know the shot in totality before it even begins. So like whenever it's because it starts
they're
way
back.
behind the table,
Yeah.
and
And they
Damon's
walk
walking in
away.
at
Yeah.
slow mo, and Damon delivers the news, and then she walks to the fire, then she looks
Yeah.
down, then she looks back. So I'm like,
Mm.
I kind of remember, I just remember her looking back. That was the one
Mhm.
thing that was vivid in my head, and I was kind of like, all right, I was kind of like, get to it, but but I liked the crawl. Like I liked
No, it's
the
brilliant. It's
slow,
brilliant. That's like that was
ooh.
a great editing choice, dude. And
Mm,
this show is filled with excellent editing choices. Like that is one thing that on rewatch really stuck out to me is that even in episodes that I didn't find to be as great as I remembered, the one thing I could go, "Oh, you know what made me think was great was the editing."
mm,
Um uh specifically episode
yes.
5. The Green Wedding. Um
Ooh. Mm. It's when the show started to get good, you know. It
mm,
was like it is, I don't know, just the later half, but I guess, man, I don't know, that was the first kind of moments that were feeling like, I don't know, they were just starting to feel like really big moments in the show.
mm.
They had that whole substance, so many storylines coming together in one massive sort of thing. And
That
yeah, I
was
guess
actually I'm actually not going to fully
going
agree with you
the
on
opposite
that.
way.
I'm
You
going
mean
the
like,
opposite way. Episode 5 did not hit nearly as good as it did the first time around, and obviously it's not going to. That's like no duh. You know, the first time you watch something is
mhm.
probably going to be the best time you watch something. But when I looked at our ratings, no fucking chance.
The
No
only time
fucking
is that
chance.
the only time? Well,
It's the only
I
time
guess
we've ever done tens across the board.
yeah, we gave episode 8 a 10 critically, which is crazy that we did give 2 episodes a 10. We actually did
Hmm.
arrive there. I guess we did. We thought at one point we could deliver a 10 critically. But I guess
Hmm.
maybe our justification was that, like, it's how can television get much better than this? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
how
Yeah.
could an episode of television get much better? But
No,
I
yeah, and
do.
that's my thing is that like I think that what doesn't help some of these episodes is that we are fresh off of a Game of Thrones rewatch. And I was able to weigh it against some of my favorite episodes of Thrones and be
Mm,
like, "Oh, there are 2 episodes in this show that I think hold their own against the best of Thrones, and it's episode 7 and 8. I think that those are the best episodes in
mm,
this show. Driftmark and Lord of the
ooh,
Tides, right? That's what those are.
mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep.
I mean, and specifically, it's I mean, I get why we gave 8 the love. Holy God, is 7 fucking good. Like I was watching that befuddled as to how the show hadn't reached these heights prior to it. I was like,
Hmm.
how you were capable of this? Why haven't you been doing this? You know, and like and obviously there's a payoff to it to a degree, you know, but as far as just like all the things that happened in that episode, the one thing that I also was a little disappointed about rewatching was that it wasn't nearly as good looking as I remembered.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and one thing that I maybe we can trace this back to House of the Dragon. Maybe it goes back a little further. I don't know when it would have started. I think the reason it doesn't look as good now is because all prestige television looks like this now. Um,
Mm.
and I don't know if this was like,
Ah.
I mean, even watching The Acolyte, this is what The Acolyte looks like for the most part. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
that's kind of
The
true. Yeah.
even Shogun, I mean, and
Different
even
style
Shogun, I
a
mean,
little
but
bit,
like there are a
but
lot of times when I'm like, it looks a lot like House of the Dragon, you know,
yeah, cut
and
from the
it's
same
not,
cloth, kind of.
yeah, and I feel like that's kind of, and Shogun, I would argue Shogun looks better than this, but there are just moments where I feel like the gray hazy thing has bled through into every single thing
Hmm.
movie and filmmaking wise. And I mean, Game of Thrones certainly didn't have that. You know, like even in the worst season, season 8, I don't think there was an episode we could point to and go, ah, well, people like to point at the long night, like, oh, you can't see anything, but like that's
Mm.
it's better than it being gray. You know, it's dramatically lit, and if you have I mean, and I know it's like I shouldn't have to have
It's kind of
a
gatekeepy
fucking
a
yeah
little
rich
bit,
person
but
TV to watch this show, but like no, but that's what I'm saying. Like I watched this on Blu-ray the same as I did Game of Thrones, and I was kind of like, oh, You know, like it just doesn't look as good. And that's what was
Mm-mm.
there are times, like what was interesting about episode 7 specifically is that the first half of episode 7 is not good looking, and then the back half of episode 7 is incredible to look at. Um, and it makes me go, okay, well then obviously they made a choice
Hmm.
for the first half of the episode to look like that. And why on earth did they make that choice? You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's a fascinating dichotomy where I can tell some things they do are choices. They want things to look that way.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Um,
I think, at least to me, it feels like they're trying to make anything Hightower gray and grim
mm,
and boring. And sure, they have like the right play sometimes in the game, and they,
yeah,
they have a
yeah, yeah.
very good position, but like it's just whatever. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just
I on rewatch, no clue how you could possibly be Team Green.
it's
No
impossible.
fucking clue.
It's impossible. I mean, I
If
was
you are on Team Green, you are just being a contrarian. You are just wanting to be on the other side. You know what
or
I'm
it's
saying?
like a power standing. Like they have Vagar, they have, the biggest dragon. And like maybe at that level when we can debate on who will win the war, like that's a different argument, but it's like Daenerys Targaryen. This is the blood of Daenerys Targaryen. Like this
Hmm.
is Daenerys was born so that she could do what Rhaenyra wanted to do in her
Hmm.
life. I feel like this is
Right.
and
Well, and
and
that's what's
at the beginning,
oh no,
the
go ahead, sorry.
300 years before Daenerys Targaryen. Like I feel like
Hmm.
that was um just it was clear, at least to me, that this is just like a heightened time, like the High Republic version of
Yeah.
Daenerys Targaryen.
Yeah,
And it's
prequel trilogy era thrones, like everything's grander, everything's bigger, it's and I think that they do a good job with some of that grandiosity, but there are times when I'm like I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking for specifically, but just at times I felt that there were giant big establishing shots and thrones of like King's Landing, for example,
mm-hmm.
where I could tell they took a picture of a real place and heightened it and did stuff to it. I feel like King's Landing in some shots is a completely CG environment that
That's
they are putting
true.
forth. And that's
Yeah.
fun, like, and that's fine, like that's not a huge deal or anything, but it's one of those things that like it looks different. There is, and maybe they are going for that, like again, a heightened sort of surreal feeling that they're trying to invoke, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe, but even so, like there were just times where I was like, damn. But regardless, the dragons always look fucking incredible.
That's
There's
true. Yeah.
there's never a time whenever the dragons look bad. And I think that because the dragons always look good, the VFX in other places might slip through the cracks.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Like when you're looking at King's Landing and I'm like that's a video game screen a little bit. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The bridge at Dragonstone and Dragonstone usually looked pretty good. Once you got inside of Dragonstone, it was whatever, unless you were in the war
mhm.
room or like with the war table. That
Yeah,
was
I
pretty
feel like
cool.
they
Um,
feel like they flipped that in this. Like I feel like when it was in Thrones,
the
like
Red
the outs
Keep was always like the
yeah,
better
yeah,
looking
yeah.
and like more
Hmm.
extravagant, and
Yeah.
Dragonstone, yeah, it was dead. And Danny
Yeah.
felt alone, and like yeah, it was
Hmm.
always, or
But
when she got
Dragonstone looks
there, I
fucking
guess.
awesome in this,
No, yeah, it's
like
pimping.
specifically the interiors of Dragonstone. Like it's cool to think about the throne room that they're in at the end, like where she's told that um because that's
Oh.
like where John and Danny meet for the first
Is
time.
that throne even there?
Not there yet. No. Um
That
The
oh
Chamber of the Painted Table is also that like that used to be the war room, which
yeah.
is now in is in that other room where Damon is in
I
earlier in
guess
the
I
show.
didn't
So like
think about
it
that.
gets like a rearranging and a like everybody like eventually there's somebody who occupies Dragonstone who's like, yeah, this ain't the war room
I
anymore.
guess
This
like
is the throne
maybe
room.
when we're not at war, we don't need the war
Mhm.
room to be the main
Yeah,
room. Or
yeah.
I don't know. So Huh. Yeah, I guess I didn't even really think about the layout of it, but
Mhm. I'm
um
pretty sure. I'm just going based off the
I
size of
think
the
you're
room.
right. I
You
think
know,
yeah, I think
I
you're
think that's
right.
the throne room
Mhm.
come Daenerys time. But
Yeah.
you know, and goddamn when they light up the paint the chamber of the painted table, if
Come
you
on.
will, that's fucking
Come on,
gorgeous.
man. Yeah, that's just I don't know how that works.
I don't either, but it rocks. I
But
love it.
like just the slow fade of it like just slowly lighting it up more and like you just see out of the you see the depth of it as well. Just a sick ass table. But I think
Mm,
a thing like for episode 6, was it 6 or was it 5? The green wedding. I think that was
that's
5, right?
five.
Yeah, that's
That's
5.
five.
Um we you texted me about it too, and I do agree with it. I did say that it was when the show kind of started to get good and everything, but that green dress moment, whenever Allison walked out, I remember like talking about that as if it was like, holy
A
shit,
bomb. Yeah,
holy
like
fuck, what did like look at what we just got, and it was
yeah.
it was
I mean, it's
cool,
cool.
like
Yeah, like it's cool.
uh huh.
And but I'm with you. I'm like, we must have been
We were riding high.
we
Yeah,
must have been in it, bro, because I'm like,
I think we
there
don't
was a
hate
part of
Alicent
me.
yet, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's we don't hate her
Yeah,
yet.
maybe now we don't
Like,
like Allison, so now we're like, what the fuck are you upset about? You know, like maybe I could see that. I could see that. But even in spite of that, I think even the way they're writing it, I was kind of like, this feels like a weird escalation, you know, whenever Laris is like, do you know what color the high tower glows when they're about to go to war?
hmm
And Mark's and Harwin's like green. Like it's
yeah,
like, yeah, but like and I there was strife, there was struggle a little bit,
I
but
guess did her what happened right before was Otto just demoted from Hand of the King and had to leave? Did they have that conversation of, kind of wake up, you know, Rhaenyra, if she has the claim, she's going to come for your children and blah 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 blah. Wake up! This is reality. You know this. And is that what caused her to go
I
green
mean that
dress
is
moment or?
everything that causes her to dive deeper into that side of things is an obligation to her children. There's literally, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's a tad bit of Otto in her. There is a little bit of a pride thing, but
Mm-hmm.
not nearly as much as like Corlys and his search for the throne. You know, like
Okay.
that is him. He
Mm-hmm.
wants that. Rhaenys has given that up. I feel like Alicent, it's more out of a feeling like there is always the chance, even though Rhaenyra probably wouldn't do that, that she'd be counseled to, you know, get rid of her
Mm.
strongest opposer, the person who is, in other people's eyes, the rightful heir, you know? And so there could always be that, but like the end, whenever the Aegon's dream
Mm.
conversation is had between
Mm-hmm.
Viserys and I'm assuming, and I'm fairly certain he thinks is Rhaenyra,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. She very willfully decides that she's going to believe something there, you know?
That's true.
These could be the ramblings of a madman,
Mm-hmm. And she
you
kind
know,
of
a man dying.
she thinks they are probably like she heard, yeah, what he saw in the north, Aegon's dream, a song of ice and
I sent
fire,
fire.
like things that he has never said before
You will
ever.
save
Like,
the realm, you know, like it is you who will save the realm. And then she like kind of steps back. She's like, I understand, my king, you know, but
mm-hmm.
like there's a moment because he said Aegon. It's literally like if he hadn't said Aegon, she might not even have this idea. But because he said
Uh,
Aegon, she's like, let's cook, you know?
mm,
And like that is the moment that is not just out of protecting her children. That is the moment whenever she goes,
it's
I have a
mine.
decision to make. I just made peace with the woman I love, by the way. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah,
True. Oh my
yeah.
God.
Like they just made peace. They were good. They were gonna come back. They were gonna live together. They were gonna be cool again. And Viserys says this, which is vague, inconclusive, nothing surefire. And she goes, you know what, fucking never mind. She's like, you know what, fucking never mind. Let's do this shit. And that is her. That is her. That is clearly Aegon doesn't fucking want it. Not until he's up there and he's
Damn.
experiencing everybody. Um,
Why didn't Allison just say he said Aemon, you know? And Aemon just would have I don't know. Maybe Aemon they're I don't know if either of them are good, but Aemon would have been at least a little bit better to go with
yeah, Aemond would
than
be a
Aegon.
better
But I guess just
king.
firstborn,
Yeah.
I don't know. And it is like a massive switch up like
Mhm.
right at the end. I don't know, maybe just going with just Aegon. The idea was there, that it technically is true and not a lie. But
Mhm.
but man, yeah, I guess on this watch, I didn't like Allison from the jump, and I don't think that was true at the beginning because young Allison,
No.
I'm on her side completely, and I
I
guess
feel
even on
terrible for young
yeah, and I guess
Allison.
on this
Yeah.
watch still, I'm still like, damn,
Yeah.
being manipulated and like, and whenever she's picking at her nails and stuff like that, like you just gotta feel
Yeah.
bad for her. But
That's why the green dress moment was cool. Is because she's stepping into her own. She is taking
mm,
it. She is making a choice for herself. And I think that is probably why the first time around it resonates a little bit more is because you don't know who she becomes.
mm-hmm, yeah,
And even who she becomes isn't that bad, like, and that's what's complicated is that like it's
it's like a Cersei,
a little
um,
bit, a
a
little
little,
bit, and definitely better than
mm-hmm.
Cersei, by the like
Yeah, just
like easily
for
better
her
than
kids. She loves her
um
kids. At least she doesn't have a brother or like
mhm,
a sibling
an
to love,
uncle or
or just yeah anything. I guess like yeah, she doesn't really. I guess she has like what's the weird Corlys? Is that his
Laris.
name? Yeah, Laris. He has Laris, which
He'd be beating meat to her feet.
that's not. Yeah, that's she's got to find a partner. I don't know. Rhaenyra. I don't know. Maybe
Rhaenyra, yeah, no, like, and
maybe
that's
that's where season 2 could go. I didn't actually
I'm
think about that.
intrigued. Well, and I mean,
Um,
like, there is an obvious chemistry that I can't remember the actress for young Allison, but Millie Alcock is macking hard on young Allison,
yeah. Uh,
like
yeah. I'm
extremely so.
trying to find her. But man, yeah, no, their chemistry is very, very strong. Out in the
mm,
Godswood or with the weirwood tree, I think that's what
yeah,
they're
like
called. Um,
laying on her lap and stuff,
ooh,
and
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, they and then the little peace treaty at the end, the last,
Hmm.
Allison's
The
last
holding each
little,
other's hands and
um,
looking, yeah.
or no, the little page that she sends out of the book, the page that
Oh yeah, yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
Rhaenyra tore out of the book, and it was maybe that was Otto just doing his scheming, or maybe that was truly Allison being like, come on, like maybe this will be the one thing to actually, um, turn Rhaenyra and just accept Aegon as king. But I don't know. I think they knew full well, that she was not going to accept it.
Hmm.
Like they they knew
The
war was
lingering.
coming.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, when they agree to like, like I'll take them home and I'll return on Dragonback and like the holding the hands and looking at each other and stuff like. And then beyond that, it's less what the show has done and more what the promotional material has done that seems to indicate to me that Olivia Cook and Emma Darcy have an insane chemistry.
mm,
Um and like an intimate chemistry. I don't like speculating about the personal lives of real people. Um, but damn, if not, they're good actors. You know what I'm saying? And they are good actors. We know that. But yeah, they like that's why I'm like, obviously it's House of the Dragon. The realm is not cool with the double queen thing. They were
mm,
barely getting on board with the queen thing. Um, yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah.
like,
We
and frankly,
we would
one
have
thing we
heard about a
also
double
know,
queen in Thrones, if
and
that would have happened. But
also we also know there's never been a queen, which is
mhm.
really blows, you know?
Damn, man. And is there any way that House Lannister could be the no, because I guess it was Robert's rebellion that
Mhm.
started it all, and there
It
was a
could be
Targaryen
as
on the
simple as the
throne,
history
and
books remembering things differently. Like
mm-hmm.
if Rhaenyra did become queen, maybe they say that Daemon Targaryen was king and
Yeah, they just
and she
scrubbed
was
that
queen.
out
Yeah,
so
they just
that
kind of scrubbed that.
like they got
So the
back.
tradition is
They're
upheld or
like,
whatever the
damn, the
fuck.
Targaryens got to that point, but we are not ready for women to lead. They're like, we are still misogynistic enough. Like that's not okay by us. We need to revert back to
Well, and that's what like I'm like that would have been the first king who's not Targaryen is Robert.
yeah. I mean, go yeah, the
So I'm like I'd be
Mad
willing
King
to
to
bet that it
Robert.
was actually a Targaryen who scrubs that.
Just go back to tradition.
Yeah, because
Go.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm being real, I think this ends a lot worse than Game of Thrones as far as the people who die. Um,
Oh,
the people who
oh,
die are going to be much more central. You know,
yeah. I
we didn't.
guess.
Yeah, I guess we lost Daenerys and we lost Jaime and we lost Cersei, and yes, those are all very central people. But Rhaenyra's gonna die,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like losing Jon or Danny. You know, but without Danny ever going mad is kind of how I look at it. You know what I'm saying?
Rhaenyra kind of has to die. It's either she's dead or like Laenor and just boop, gone. Who knows where
And
they
I don't
are?
see her doing that. I
Um,
don't see her doing that.
mm.
Yeah, so
Does
like
she
I'm like,
die at the hands of Daemon? Like they're married. If her claim is real for 1 second, and then Daemon kills Rhaenyra, does he become the king?
um if she is the certified queen of the seven
I
kingdoms,
guess I'm not saying that he would do it instantly, but I'm saying like if
he
yeah, like
probably no, Jacaerys would be.
that's right. It would go down if there okay, that's true.
Or
Um
Jacaerys. I think I
yeah.
can't yeah.
Okay. So no, there is no reason for Damon. There's no game
I
for
mean
Damon.
if he
Um
killed her and her kids, yeah.
ooh, no way, right? I mean
Yeah, no.
maybe
I don't see that
they're
happening.
strong kids. Like I could see Damon like maybe not in the state right now, but maybe like um Rhaenyra, Daemon wants to go to war and go, and he's very, he wants to do his own thing. But now Rhaenyra's being like, no, telling him no, and Daemon doesn't like being told no. And I feel like over time he might like, I don't know, maybe their love um, isn't gonna last like people think it is. I don't know because people really
No,
love
I
their
mean
relationship. Like
there's a
it's
glimpse of how terrible it can be in the finale there, you know, whenever he chokes her in the throne room.
that's
Um
true. Yeah,
like
they
he's
don't have a good relationship really.
no. No, it's I mean it's an uncle and a niece. It's
Yeah, and he
doomed.
leaves her while she's going through like one of the worst
Mhm.
painful moments of her life, that and just
Yeah.
planning war and hey, come with me, boy, I'll show you what loyalty really is. It's like
Yeah, no. No, and
uh
that's what like Damon is one of the most interesting characters that Game of Thrones in general has put forth
mm,
because he has such a now whether or not it's always well done an interesting back and forth to him that doesn't make a lot of sense. Um, his love that he clearly had for Lena, but as soon as she's dead, he realizes that it opens him up to be with Rhaenyra. Um,
mhm.
the fact that if Daemon had his way, they almost certainly just kill Laenor, you know? Probably, I'm assuming, you know, like if Damon has the say, I imagine he takes the easy way there, you know, and it's just like, fuck it, yeah, let's kill the guy, you know. I imagine that was Rhaenyra who was like, well, he doesn't deserve that. Let's go ahead and
Fair.
You know,
Fair
so
enough.
the thing is that Damon has a much more brutal streak to him, but he does have a very clearly loving heart that it almost feels like he's burying a lot of the time. Like whenever he goes and he helps Viserys up the stairs and he puts the crown on his head, and it's
Mm,
like that feels like the moment that he's kind
mm,
of given up the idea that he will ever be king. You know, like he is married to Rhaenyra, his brother is king. That's it. So like I don't think that's a possibility. I don't think he will. I, if Rhaenyra dies, and I think she will, I sadly think it's at the hands of Aegon, which really blows because Aegon fucking sucks. But
yeah, I mean, well, the end is weird. Like Vagar kind of going, or the dragons kind of going rogue,
mhm.
and doing it themselves, and both kids being like, no, 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 like
Yeah, yeah.
they like they're Aemon seems that he's trying, out to kill. It seems that that's what is, what else is he? What else do you
Uh,
do? I don't know, but like, I don't think
no, I
he's
think
thinking what he's
Aemon.
doing.
No,
I
oh,
don't
I don't
know.
think Aemon
It's
intended. Aemon obviously didn't intend to kill him. This is the biggest version possible of picking on your sibling. They have dragons. They fuck around with each other with dragons. Like, and I think that this like gets out of hand. Like that's what like whenever it like I think
okay.
he's legitimately teasing Lucerys. Like he knows that if he kills Lucerys, yeah, war's begun. And I think that they are trying to avoid that. You know, I don't think it's something that anybody wants. I don't think it's something the Greens even want. They just want Aegon on the throne. If that
Mm-hmm.
means war, they're more accepting of it. But if they can prevent it, they'd prevent it. That's a wrap, you know, like this officially. And yes, it was stupid. He did not think it through. That's for sure. But I genuinely don't believe he had any malice in his heart. I don't think he tried to
Yeah,
kill Lucerys. Like I don't think
and
that
then
was
I
his
guess
idea.
maybe, and then it's like they're picking on each other. The humans are picking on each other, but also the dragon. That it's like
Hmm.
that's dragon siblings playing with each other.
Right.
Whenever I don't even know what the little dragon is.
Arax, I think.
Okay, whenever Arax, he sends one little flame. He touches Vagar a little bit with some fire, and that's enough for Vagar to be like, okay,
There's like, I'm gonna eat this motherfucker.
you're dead, and not even really eat the dragon.
No, yeah, just bite him in half.
He really it's not Jahar. What's the other
Lucerys.
Lucerys? He kind of really only ate Lucerys, and then
Hmm.
just like he just boom, I'll kill the rider, and then the dragon was mostly intact, but in three pieces or four,
Hmm.
however many pieces. It kind of felt like it was an attack on the right. Like Vagar was like, okay, this I don't know, both in one fell swoop. I don't know, but
Yeah, I
um,
took it to be he was going for this region of the dragon, and that just happens to be where they
that's
sit,
yeah,
you know?
that's
And
true. If you are to go
that's a
for a
killing
kill,
blow, you know?
that's
Probably
true.
around the throat, you know?
Damn,
Yeah.
damn.
And yeah, but Vagar, yeah, don't fuck with Vagar, I guess.
I mean, Arax or Vagar really kind of started this war.
Hmm.
I don't know. It feels weird that it is kind of an accident. But
Yeah.
it will never be seen that way.
Mm-mm.
Like even there's no way that Aemon could come up and be like, "Hey guys, like I swear I didn't have control over Vagar. Like
And he
it was
wouldn't,
like
and he wouldn't.
he's probably gonna claim it."
He will claim it,
Oh,
you know? He'll claim it because it makes him look like an irresponsible dragon rider. It makes him look like he can't do it, you know? He
ah,
shouldn't have claimed Vagar. It wasn't his to begin with. He didn't have the right to Vagar. Now, you not being a capable dragon rider has started a war, you know? So he'll go, I made a choice. Maybe it was the wrong choice, but I made a choice, you know?
wow,
And maybe
yeah.
he won't. Maybe he has that one-on-one with Alicent but Alicent's like, Vagar's too important. There's nobody on their side though that would want to strip Vagar from Aemond
Vagar
anyway.
is like, I mean, I don't know what dragon Damon woke up, or whatever in that
Yeah,
one pit
yeah.
that he sang to, and seems that he is the rider too. I don't know. He like connected to it. At least the shot of the dragon's eye, and then Damon in the reflection, and then Damon's
Hmm.
eye with the reflection of the dragon. It felt like they bonded. So does that mean that like I wonder if you bond with multiple dragons, obviously he can't fly both of them at the same time, but if he's flying one of them and bonded with another, can they like fly in like a unit together, you know?
That'd be cool. No, it won't happen though. I just looked it up. No, it won't happen. I looked up who the writer of Vermithor is. That's the dragon.
Vermithor. Okay.
Vermithor.
Vermithor
And it's a
is
cool idea, so I don't want to spoil it. Like it's a cool like, and I'm assuming it'll be relatively small. It won't be a huge deal. Like it will be like
whoa.
probably first episode we're doing this, and it's not like a huge thing. It's just kind of
Mm.
like strategy wise, it's smart, and I like the idea. It's fun. But
Huh.
yeah, no, Damon
Okay.
does appear to be the writer of Vermithor right now, though. At least he's connecting with it, and
Mhm.
maybe that is just the books. Maybe they do end up adapting it in a way that's like, okay, Damon is now the writer of Vermithor, and he gives Caraxes to somebody else. Um, you
Caraxes
know,
is just kind of his dragon. I mean,
that's why I'm like,
it
yeah,
fits
no,
him too
Caraxes
well, man.
perfectly
Like,
reflects him. That's yeah. So I don't see that happening, but I do think that
hmm.
he's claimed Vermithor in a way. Like now,
Hmm.
Vermithor is with Team Black. It's not Team Green.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Because and that's the advantage that Team Black has. Obviously, the Greens have Vagar, and that's hard. You know,
Yeah.
but if there is a side that's going to know where they can find other dragons and where they can find dragon riders, the high towers ain't got that shit on lock.
Dude,
You know what I'm saying?
Damon was doing research. I mean, that dude was hard in it while he was what castle is that? Is he in Driftmark? Out with um what's his wife
Lena,
Lena. Yeah.
that
They're
was
all
in
L's.
Pentos. That was
Oh
in
wow, they're in
Pentos.
Pentos. Okay, so with their kids? Really? That's out in
Yeah,
um
that's over in Essos. Yeah.
wow. Okay. I guess I don't know. Wasn't really clocking that, but the just the argument that they have of like, you don't even sleep, man. Like you're just reading shit all the time. You don't ever do anything other than read, and you don't even go out. You don't visit any of the town. You don't do anything other than read. And maybe that's what he was doing. It's just like,
Mhm.
where is every dragon right now? Where I'm gonna read through every all the Targaryen history, all just everything, and get ready for
I
war.
mean, he
And
seems like that's why I think he is just the most interesting character the show has to offer. I don't think he's my favorite by any stretch. I don't like him the most, but there is such a fascinating archetype they're playing with for Damon, and I really,
ooh,
really dig it.
I guess the most important part, it's not really who sits the throne, it's whose bloodline continues. Who is the blood that eventually boils down to Jon Snow, and
Or Daenerys
Or
Targaryen,
Daenerys.
like
Like
because they're the same. They're actually the same
we
bloodline.
need, yeah, that's true. That yeah, the duh. But like who, because is it known? I guess maybe in the books, maybe the books make it known. I
Maybe yeah,
don't
there
know.
probably is. There probably is a
Um
certified. Well, that's the thing though, is that in the books,
in the
well, in the
books, the
yeah, in the
history's
books,
accounting of it, which
yeah,
could be,
yeah,
I don't know,
it
maybe
could
may
be,
be wrong,
and
but
that's why like they can always play with it. But yeah, no, I'm not sure as far as
hmm,
who trickles down because again, it could be that the Valerian kids, quote unquote, the strong kids, um, end up marrying and having wives, and that maybe our Daenerys is Daenerys a descendant of Baela or Rhaena, who married or was supposed to marry Lucerys,
Oh,
so not
okay.
not
So they
Rhaena,
have
I guess.
Valyrian blood in them too,
It could have
possibly.
Valerian blood, and that's
Okay, that could be
but it
cool.
could also be they're descended from Aegon and Helena.
Yeah, that's the bad. I like that's the what we don't want to
But
happen,
very
you know.
likely.
Yeah, it's probably
That is
most likely.
almost certainly, actually. That is almost definitely what's happening.
It's not going to be a happy ending,
No.
I don't
Either way, they'd be descended from um Viserys.
Okay, that's true.
Aegon and Helena are the
That
siblings of
mhm,
Rhaenyra.
that's true.
Um,
That's true. And so I guess yeah, it all goes back eventually to one place, but
no matter
man,
what,
it's
we've
going to
got Viserys up there. It's either Viserys and Emma or
I
Viserys and
guess
Alicent.
I really didn't think about that. Rhaenyra, like she says it blatantly. She's like, "What is my duty to the realm? Is it to sit at the Iron Throne at all costs, no matter what, or is it to protect to just protect the realm?" And she the only reason she has restraint right now, I think, is Aegon's dream. It's like,
Yeah.
damn, my dad just died. This is this is the he told me, and even when she tells Damon, you know, and Damon doesn't know, then she's really kind of like
It's
I
got to mean something,
that's
like,
I feel
yeah.
like if he tells if Damon knew, then maybe Damon's reasoning could have been right. Or logic could have made sense where Rhaenyra then would have been like, "Oh, okay. He told
Yeah.
Damon as well." Maybe it is just something he made up, but like the fact that no, it
He
was
literally only told her. Yeah,
mhm.
like I and obviously we know it's real prophecy.
We
Um
know it comes
we've seen it
true.
fulfilled.
Yeah, which is really, we say don't like trust prophecies all too much, but like this is a pretty old one, man. And like we do see the pot at the end of the
Carved
rainbow.
into the dagger that kills the Night King.
Yeah, this knife makes its way. This knife and blood makes its way to kill the Night King, and that's just pretty fucking cool.
Hmm.
But I wonder if the obvious answer is if Aegon sits the throne, then yeah, the bloodline it trickles down to them and it makes sense. But why? Daenerys was born at Dragonstone, right? But like, I guess she was just shuttled over. I guess I don't know. It seems that there is like kind of a breakaway eventually at some point in the bloodline where it isn't known, and maybe Rhaenyra could fake her death and go out somewhere just to be alive and keep the blood. Like that is her reasoning. Is like, okay, I have to give
Yeah,
up
I
on my
mean,
dream for the
maybe this
throne.
isn't the last conflict for the throne. Maybe the descendants of Rhaenyra, like another couple generations down of Rhaenyra and Daemon's kids, fight Aegon and Helena's, a couple generations down from
Mm,
them. And then there's
that's
there,
what I
like,
was. I didn't know if I
because
should put too
once,
many.
once there is a conflict of bloodline, it doesn't go away permanently. Those If those bloodlines continue, they are always in contention. There's literally never a winner. And we know that there is warring within the Targaryens until the dragons die.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Like, there is not a clear end to this conflict. And yes, there is a clear end to the conflict that is specifically at hand, but like I love that we see the last Targaryen die. The last
One walks
Targaryen
off
who
to the
claims,
north.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
but
but he's done. Like, he might have kids, but those kids are north. Like, they're not coming south again. Daenerys, and Drogon carries her off to Valyria. What happens there. Maybe she's, but right now we're gonna assume she's dead.
mhm.
And So like it's really cool that we see the end of the House of the Dragon and we don't even know the beginning. This is just kind of a really important middle part. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the beginning of the war that
Yeah.
destroys the Targaryens. Um
Huh, because it seems that if all the dragons are gone, just a mutually assured kind of
Destruction.
destruction
Yeah.
thing. It was just kind of like they're all preparing. Maybe they're all preparing, getting dragons on their side, and then eventually they all let them go at once. It's like an end game battle, but with just every dragon they have, all the
Mm.
houses at once. They go crazy, and just the one surviving Targaryen sits the throne at the end. I don't know. It's just like there has to be one surviving Targaryen
Mm.
at least. So at least we know not everyone dies. Um, that can't happen. Unless is there
Yeah,
another
it
Targaryen
quite
somewhere
literally
else?
can't mm.
Um,
Yeah. There are actually specifically other Targaryens that the show didn't include in season one that could
oh,
crop up in season two.
ooh,
Yeah. No, that's a careful
hmm.
search there. Be careful with that. But
Okay, I don't have
yeah,
any Targaryen names on the new listings. Yeah, but that would have been an interesting
mhm.
thing to see, like a new
I'm pretty
Targaryen.
sure I'm fair and I can't remember what side it's on. There's another sibling. Um
Of
one of the families has another kid that they haven't dove into yet. Um, that like was off doing the way like Ned and Robert spent time at the Vale before they became lords of their houses, and they
mm,
were there for
hmm.
years. I can't remember which side has another kid. I'm pretty sure I can't remember. I wish I could. It's probably Alicent's side. It's probably another one of
Hmm.
Alicent and Viserys's kids. Um,
Really?
yeah, I think I might be tripping off that. Maybe I'm
One,
totally
two
making something up.
pregnancies, and yeah, we see two babies. She's still pregnant at the time. Maybe. I don't know. Did we see her pregnant a third time but never see that child? Or was it just clearly like there's Aegon? Aegon was clear. But Aemon, I feel like there was another baby and we saw Alicent pregnant, maybe. Yeah, I don't
Mm,
know.
because Aemond, Aegon, and Helena,
Oh, Helena. That's true. I guess there
you
is
know,
there is three. So yeah. But if there is another, that could be
there is another.
there's another. Yeah, but I guess I don't know. Hull. What last name is the Adam of Hull? Oh, of Hull. I don't know what
That's a
Hull
place. Yeah.
is, but Clinton Liberty um
Clinton Liberty.
is
That's American.
Adam of Hull. Well, that's the real person. Clinton Liberty is
Oh,
the actor that is playing
I
Adam
see.
of Hull.
Okay. I was like, they're introducing a
Um,
character named Clinton Liberty.
no,
That's
no, no, no.
outstanding.
Yeah, no.
Um,
But uh, Jamie Kenna as Sir Alfred Broom. Um,
haha. I was not tripping. Aegon and Helena have had three kids.
oh, it's one of their
You remember when
kids.
there's three kids playing on the ground that Helena's taking care of? Helena's like, where is she? She's supposed to dress the kids, like there are three more kids that they have
Ah,
had.
oh,
Jahaira, and Maelor.
oh,
So we got that coming. Um,
okay.
oh, Joffrey. I forget about Joffrey. Obviously, Lucerys and Jacaerys are
Oh
old
yeah,
enough to ride
there's a
dragons.
yeah.
Joffrey is the other kid who has not died.
Mm-hmm.
He's there. Um,
He kneels down at the end. His little itty bitty kneel. It's so cute.
then we got Rhaenyra and Daemon's next two kids, Aegon the Third and Viserys the Second, who are
Next.
introduced to Viserys at the end of his life. Whenever he's
Oh,
like, that is a name fit for a king," like that was,
oh my
like
God.
we've got a lot on the board.
I guess yeah, they kind of just give the babies to the maids to really take care of while they're young, and then just whenever they're old enough to finally function, then they take them. So maybe that's why they're just off screen. Is just I don't know. Like we rarely see them. But yeah, I
Yeah, I
forgot that
guess.
introduction to Viserys. Yeah, those kids.
Yeah, so like we got some Targaryens that are going to come up, but
Hmm.
I could have swore there was one that should already exist. And maybe I'm completely fucking.
Hmm.
I'm going to look up missing Targaryen
Uh-oh. You're
and
about to
House of the
either
Dragon.
enter theory land or
Yeah,
spoiler land. I don't know.
let's do this. I don't care. I
But
don't care.
yeah,
Um,
I don't know. We're getting a new Stark, I guess. Cregan.
Cregan Stark, yeah.
Cregan.
He's the younger guy. You remember
Oh, he's already.
Jacaerys says well no, he's not been introduced, but when Jacaerys is getting sent to the north, she's like he's closer to your age than he is mine, so maybe you guys will get along and connect a little
Ah,
bit. So we are getting a younger guy playing Cregan Stark, which is cool. Young Stark Lord. Um
that'll be cool. Um, a thorn. That's interesting.
ah
You got it? Did you find
yeah,
him?
Daeron Targaryen.
Darren.
Um which was another child of Viserys and Alicent.
Whoa.
Um,
Hmm.
he is notably not in the show. Um, Darren is technically a part of the show now. He just doesn't happen to be on screen yet, according to the writer. Um,
Interesting. Wow.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yes, Alicent gave Viserys four children, three sons and a daughter. Their youngest son, Darren, is down in Old Town. They just didn't have time to work with him this season. So he's doing
Down in
his
Old Town.
down with the high tower seat, like
Mm-hmm.
that's where he's bulling. So
Someone had to turn the tower to green. I get,
yeah,
to
yeah.
be there.
So yeah, we've got at least one more,
Huh.
and it's Darren Targaryen. I knew
Wow.
there was one. I knew there was something that I was like not making up there. Okay. So yeah, possibly that in season two. And who knows? They've also left it open for themselves to where if they never want to do anything with that, they don't have to since they never address it in the first season.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. Yeah, I had no idea. I forgot
it's
about the
possible.
actual kids that were
Well,
shown.
now I'm
Um.
like, I'm interested if you watch it and watch closely, if there are three sons and one daughter, and
Mm-hmm.
and then the time
Hmm.
jump happens, and then there's two sons and one
Yeah.
daughter. But I don't know. Either way, it's I'm excited. I'm excited for season two. I think we've got a lot to look forward to. I think obviously we're gonna see a descent into full blown fucking war, which is very cool because notoriously that is what episodes really fucking rock. And seems like season two is pretty much nothing but it, you know?
I mean, how could they do anything but go? Like
And
go to
I think we
war.
will take those respite episodes. I think there will be episodes where it's like, okay, politicking and trying to figure out where to go next. I
Mm.
doubt we jump straight into it. I bet it's
Mm.
strategizing like, okay, the war has begun. What's our first strike?
Yeah,
Like
now it's
we,
just on. Like
yeah, yeah.
Rhaenyra is also the straw has been broke. Like Rhaenyra, she did hold restraint, maybe for
Yeah,
Aegon's dream. Now the restraint
over.
is
Yeah, fuck that.
it's done.
And obviously Corlys joining her side was a huge win. Like
Mm.
that moment rocks too. Whenever Corlys is like, "You have our ships and you have our people," and this is like, and he's like, "It obviously my injury was hard won, but it came with a prize. We now
Mm.
control the narrow sea. Like we can lay siege to King's Landing." And she even says in that moment that they don't have enough swords anyway. So even so that the war's on, they're going to fight. She says that line where she's like, I want to know my bannermen before I send them off to war. I think
Mhm.
there's still more recruitment yet. And I think that's
I
kind of
see.
how we'll begin the season. Now on the green side of things, that's the side I'm clueless on. I'm like, I don't know how the fuck we go over there, but the blacks, I feel like now I'm like, well, they are going to not take that lying down. Um,
I wonder if a
that
new
is
house will try to rise, and there will be that an internal conflict at King's Landing that the Greens will have to deal with, um, or something. But
that could be cool.
yeah, I don't. I think I think that is probably how it'll go. Like a little recruitment process at first. Go to travel to some different houses. We'll see some different places. Maybe we'll like maybe they go to the north. I mean, they have dragons. They can just plop anywhere they want. They can
Well, yeah, and
fly
we
and boom.
yeah, they could set up in the north. We know we are going to the north. We are getting introduced to Krieg and Stark, and we are getting, like Jaciris did go up there to treat with them, and maybe we do pick up literally just kind of same time as the finale takes place, and it's Jacaerys in the north, and that's how it starts. And like,
Hmm.
maybe we aren't looking at okay, it's been because I doubt we go. It's been a month since Lucerys died. You
That's
know.
true. Because I guess this was Lucerys. Did they go off at the same time? They
Mm-hmm.
left at the same time, and so we only saw one half
Yeah.
of this trip, and one half of it went really really bad. And I'm hoping the other half doesn't go as bad. The other kid.
No.
I'm hoping
Yeah. I
that.
mean, unless Aegon leaves King's Landing, because they don't have another dragon rider. It's just those two.
Ooh,
Um,
if he dies, then like Damon killing I don't know. I really hope that Damon doesn't kill Rhaenyra.
I don't
Um,
think he will. That's one thing that like I think we'll get a moment in this season where Rhaenyra will kind of get back at Damon for that moment in the finale where he chokes her.
mm,
I think there will be a moment where she's like, "You never fucking do that again, and if you do, you're dead."
mm.
Like that's
Almost the
that.
satisfaction of like he didn't tell you. Like it's not that
Yeah,
yet,
she's like,
but it was
"Oh,
the
okay,
first like she kind of won that interaction. Like Damon walked off way more
pissed." Yeah.
pissed than Rhaenyra,
Well,
I
I think
think,
there's and he. That's what's interesting about Damon again is that like he loved his brother, but they clearly never got along all that well. How can he expect that his brother would ever tell him something like that, I mean, I guess there was a very long period of time where Damon was the heir.
That's what's interesting is maybe he did tell Damon, but Damon that's why he got so mad. Is he's like don't even speak of this. Don't let it
Yeah,
leave
because I mean,
your
like he does say that, like Viserys was led by his delusions and prophecies, and
But
and
yeah, he shuts it down. Yeah, I guess
yeah,
he more shuts the idea down. I guess if he was saying like silent like don't talk it like shut up, it would be more of like no like that he believed in it too, that
mm.
that you can't talk about it. But yeah, I wonder cuz yeah, Damon was his heir. So maybe he just thought that
He
he
was
knew.
holding out hope that Damon would not be his heir, though. Like he kept trying with Emma, he tried with
That's
Allison,
true.
like tried with Emma to the point where it killed her. And I gotta say, upon rewatch, that is still the single hardest scene in any of Game of Thrones to watch for me. I cannot do it. I had to mute it and look down. Couldn't watch it.
It's pretty bad. No,
Oh, it's awful. It's god fucking awful. And
there
there are a lot of scenes that are hard to watch. There are a lot of terrifying, terrible things done to women. Never happens to men, really. I mean, like maybe some of the stuff that happens to Theon, but even that, it's like tolerable. Like it's never like, oh my God, I can't watch this. Like, but this is like that is the most disturbing thing they've ever done on screen. And the fact that they'd marketed the show as being less violent and less sexual and less everything, and then being like coming
it
out and doing the most disturbing thing they ever did.
yeah, it's like it's less sexual in the sense of just like useless nudity just for nudity's sense. And the scenes had, they were more moments, but
hmm
it doesn't give you the right away. I don't know. Like at the end of the day, it is TV and it is entertainment, and like no one's truly entertaining that, or finding like true entertainment from that, like those scenes. Like it's when Rhaenyra is like I don't know, even Rhaenyra, her just miscarriage, stillbirth. What is that like? Is that a stillbirth? Well, I don't. Or
Yeah, stillbirth.
yeah, like even that is just like, I mean, drawn out. Like I don't know. Like I don't know.
And
And
see, even that, there was something about that that almost felt, I mean, like it was hard to watch, and it's It's not good, you
Mm-hmm.
know, but it's like at least we like know Rhaenyra, you know, at least we
Yeah.
know Rhaenyra, and we're
She's standing up for herself. You know, she
like,
doesn't
yeah,
want help, and she's
she's
kind of
doing the
like,
thing, you know, like
yeah,
she has the say in what's happening. Like the thing that sucks about Emma's death is she actively tries to stop them. You
the
know, like
the
she is
no no
screaming
no, like,
no. And
yeah, that's
that's the part that makes you go, okay, this is like I'm getting like the bad chills thinking about it, you know, like it's and that's what's interesting though, is that like I don't think it was like within the context of the show, I don't think they needed to go so far with it. I don't think they needed to show so much of it.
it still could
But
have
like
happened,
it
but
still could have happened. Like I that is a truly deeply important part of Viserys' story. Like that needs to happen for
mm-hmm,
Rhaenyra and for him to realize, okay, I have
a
been
problem.
ridiculous, you
Yeah.
know, like I have been absolutely crazy. And I wish it didn't need to happen, but like it did. He's a king in medieval times. He wants a son. He's going to keep trying for a son. That's how these guys work. So the fact that he even did arrive at the point where he's like, you're my heir. That's that. And I have something to tell you. Like I love, and he's steadfast. He never wavers ever. And I fucking love it. I loved that. So like, that's one of those things where you're introduced to Viserys on like one of the worst things a character can possibly do, which is willfully kill his wife. Um,
Wow. I mean,
you
yeah.
know,
Like, did they even present the option of saving, like, just aborting the baby? Did they even present that as an option to him?
that I believe maybe it was an option, but I don't think they have the capability to get the
Oh,
baby out in any capacity without killing the mom. Like the only way for
ah,
like it was like the
that's
only
true. I
choice,
guess
you know, like it's
Attila, yeah.
you either
Ooh,
lose them both for sure or you lose one of them for sure. And now I think that if it had been presented to Emma, if they had gone, okay,
mm,
you know, you are, I'm sorry, you are either both going to die or we have a chance to save the baby. We're going to save the baby. Is that okay with you? I doubt
whew,
Emma even has. I'd be willing to bet Emma is like, well, yeah, I'm gonna die anyway. Try to
yeah.
save the baby.
Like,
It's the fact that it's he goes do it, and they just tear her down and start cutting open her stomach, and you're like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Yeah, no, I so that is I like genuinely, I remember whenever the first episode came out, they were like, "What is the more disturbing scene, Red Wedding or this?" No fucking doubt in my mind, it's this. This is far harder to watch. A
yeah.
different reason. That is emotionally gut wrenching.
Yeah, it's just you care
And
for those
obviously,
characters. It's
watching
just
a pregnant woman get stabbed in the stomach is tough. Like that is something that's like, whoa, that's.
that
But
sucks.
this
But
is a different sort of what sucks is it's more real, which is the problem. It's not a giant betrayal of families trying to take down a house. It's a woman dying in childbirth, which literally happens. You know, it's not
it's
you
a
know,
crazy concept. Just like, yeah, like what a fucking ride. Just to you might I don't know. Like you might die at the end of these 9 months. You have to think that your whole like I mean it's not your thought. It's not your first thought going through your
no,
head.
but like
But like it's a possibility. Like it is just like there's a lot of things that can go wrong
mm,
along the way. And like it's just wow. Yeah, crazy thing. And back at this time, it doesn't matter for them. It's like, no, you need to give me a male, so keep going. It's just like it
mm.
does, there's no thought put into that. It is just, nope, I don't have my male yet. So please. And man, it sucks that they're kind of right though, that if Rhaenyra sat the throne, even if she was a perfect leader, they would still kind of tear themselves apart just because the people wouldn't accept it,
Yeah.
and that just kind of sucks because it's like probably true. And it just
Well, and that's the thing too, is the people don't give a fuck. It's the other ruling families that would give a fuck.
That's
You know,
kind
like
of that is true because when Aegon was named king, they like,
everyone was like,
oh, now we clap. Oh yeah, we love
okay,
you.
yeah,
Woo!
sure.
Like yeah, it's
You're our
like
king. We didn't even know who would be our king. You know, we didn't know who was next. They don't know.
oh
You
my
know,
god,
like
that's true.
Viserys dies, and they're like, okay, who, what now? And they're
Yeah, they're
like,
like,
okay, well, this
oh,
guy, and they're like, cool. And obviously there is a part whenever they're in the streets. Damon takes Rhaenyra through the streets, and they're doing the little play in
mm,
the street about how Rhaenyra is gonna be queen and stuff, and they're like, "Boo, fuck her," you
uh,
know. So like, and she's like, "No, this is treason," you know, like, she's like playfully like, "Oh, you guys fucking suck," you know. And I
mm,
there's a lot of charm for how deeply fucked up the show can be. And I really appreciate that, and I'm excited. One of the things that I wasn't super excited for coming out of season one the first time, but on rewatch, I love, and I did love, but like I'm really ready for more Corlys and Rhaenys. Um,
mm.
I like them a lot.
Rhaenys.
Rhaenys
Ooh,
fucking rocks,
her
dude.
not kneeling at the end. Her not, um, no, nothing. She is on her own.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she's the surviving bloodline.
She
Maybe
could be.
she's the where Daenerys and John come from.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, if Corlys
the rightful
and
heir. I mean,
Rhaenys,
like,
yeah, that'd be cool. Corlys and Rhaenys, they had, you know, Laena dead, Laenor presumed dead and gay. Um,
yeah.
then Laena had Baela and Rhaena. Baela got married, is going to marry Jacaerys,
Mm.
so it's possible.
Yeah, I guess she's not
Um,
having any more kids. I guess
yeah, Rhaenys is
probably.
not. Yeah, I'm just
She's
if I'm betting money. Um,
probably not. So I guess I was thinking like if she's the sole survivor, she has
she
another
could
kid
have
with
another.
someone
Yeah, no, no,
and whatever. Probably not. Yeah, actually no.
no.
Okay, so yeah, maybe not there. But no, she will be very interesting to watch. Like
Oh, I'm
if
excited because I mean, like her family has declared for Rhaenyra now. Like
that's true.
that's
Corlys gave up. Rhaenys was already done. She said, "I've given up on it long ago," and whatever. And whenever like Corlys is like our uh our quest for the Iron Throne is finally over, like Rhaenys is kind of like, well, yours is over.
yeah.
I've
She's like,
long
I'm glad you
accepted that.
finally arrived here, you know.
But
But I love the way that Rhaenyra slowly like wins her over via her policy. You know, basically the
mm,
whenever she is like she basically convinces Corlys to declare for Rhaenyra. You know, it's not she knows it's not up to her, I think is part of the thing and why she doesn't kneel, you know.
ah,
She can't
okay.
make that choice for her house. Corlys has to
Oh,
make that choice for her house, and Corlys is bedridden at that time, you know. So like I think that
I see.
there is when he wakes up and he's like, and we have to choose between this sniveling cunt and this you know this woman who da 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 da. It should have been you, da, da, da. And she's like, Rhaenyra is the only reason we are not knee deep in a war right now. She is the only person showing restraint. She is the only person doing good and doing right. You know, like, and so like I love that Rhaenys presents as a very neutral force and kind of humbling, you know, doesn't certainly not a yes woman. She's not like, yes, you're right, Rhaenyra, like good job. You're doing great, you know.
Well, she humbled
But
Team Green.
oh yeah,
She humbled them pretty hard. I
pretty
mean,
hard.
she killed a lot of innocent civilians in the process. That is one thing that definitely happened. But, um, I mean, she had to get out of there. She wanted her dragon. Um, I don't know.
Now,
Mm,
if she had been able to do this after she'd for sure declared for Rhaenyra, it would have been a lot more convenient.
yeah.
Because she probably would have just roasted these motherfuckers alive. But hey,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
And
it is what it is.
if she was still making a play for the throne, sadly, it works better to kill all these people with your dragon to make it a spectacle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Here's our new king. Look at what's happening.
Psych,
Oh,
it's
look
me,
at
you
what
know.
real power looks like, sort of
Hmm.
thing. But that's not what she's doing. She's I'm a prisoner. I want to get out of here. Let me show you what we could do if we wanted, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not going to.
Well, and at
Um,
that time, it's not her war,
that's
you know,
true.
like at that time, it's not,
Her
she
reasoning is
doesn't have a
sound.
side, you know,
Hmm.
like and it's not that I don't think she'd be willing to make that choice for her house. I think she would, but I think that you know, I think she respects Corliss a bit too much for stuff like that. Like I think that she genuinely believes and genuinely wants to make choices together. It's not that she knows it's Corliss's final say, but
Because it's kind
Corliss
of,
respects her a lot more than a lot of
yeah,
dudes respect their wives in this world.
that's
You
true.
know what I'm saying?
It goes
Um,
Rhaenys's way a lot of the time.
yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
Rhaenys telling Corliss, like,
He has to say it. You
yeah.
know, he has to be the one who's like, this is what we're gonna do. But she's gonna be like, well, this is what we're gonna do. Go ahead and tell them, you know, like
She's really she's the queen behind the scenes, you
mm,
know, like because she even persuades Rhaenyra a lot of times,
hmm
and I don't know. I feel like also technically with their rules, like she should have been the queen, like legally, like
yes.
Rhaenys is the queen, which is why I was like trying to think of like she should be the sole survivor, is like because like if Aegon's dream goes perfectly, then his line just goes all the
I
way
mean,
down and
if
blah blah
she is
blah.
the
But
sole survivor, she might automatically be queen.
I guess that's
You know
true,
what I'm saying? Like it's like if everybody else dies,
and she is just the neutral out
yeah,
on, a
yeah,
bystander that everyone's dead. Well, there's no
okay,
Targaryens, no Hightowers, no
yeah,
anything. What are they gonna fucking Jason Lannister? Fuck
yeah, right.
you, Jason.
Fuck you,
Like
Jason.
they always got to give him
Um,
the simple names too. Kevin
yeah. Well, and there's always
Lannister.
one that's that like got like a relatively cool one too. You know, like his brother's Tyland.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Tyland's cool. Tyland's cool. You know, but it's like Tyland and Jason. You know, and Kevin, Jamie, but also Tywin and Tyrion. You know, like
Mhm.
they've got a nice little balance going on there where they're like, okay, one of the brothers has to have a boring ass name. It's just the way things work. The other one gets the cool name.
Mhm.
I
Targaryens,
also
they got it on lock though,
right.
kind of.
Oh yeah, no, it's not even close.
They like the AE quite commonly though.
Hmm
They frequent that, but yeah, I wonder how many, if Damon and Rhaenyra, if like Rhaenyra is done with kids, that now that she is queen, if childbirth is too much of a risk just to
Yeah,
even take on
it's
while you
possible.
are queen. But I want, like, after this stillbirth, I wonder if that's enough for her to be like I'm done, or if
That's
it's
it.
like
Yeah.
we need more. I don't know. I don't. It doesn't feel like they need more, and like having just another kid, how much strategic advantage really is another kid gonna do you in wartime? I don't
I mean,
know.
future Dragon Riders. You know, like it's
Yeah, I guess
but
it takes time, but eventually, yeah.
if the war is gonna last a long
Hmm,
time, you know, and
I guess
um
it does. We know it. Well, I guess this war doesn't have to last for a long time.
this specific one, but the
Yeah.
remnant, the effects of it are forever lasting. They don't go
Mm-hmm.
away. Um, I mean, and maybe, I mean, they eventually do. You know, Targaryens aren't always at war with themselves. It's just the dragons die out and they're
Yeah,
still ruling,
because
you
it took to
know?
the Mad King. I mean, the Mad King sucked, and people were like, okay, clearly we need a
That's
change.
enough, you know?
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
we're done with him. But like, I don't know, before the Mad King, how much do we really know? How far back do we really know before?
I'm
Uh,
assuming again the histories of the world of the universe actually have some sort of outline, but I don't
mm,
know. I don't
yeah, I
know off
guess
the top
the
of my
show
head.
they could go kind of anywhere. I
Um,
guess it is up in the air.
Aegon was probably the king before Aerys, because King Aegon was Aemon's brother, and Aemon stepped aside
Mm-hmm.
so that his brother could be king,
Mm-hmm.
and
True.
Aegon was probably the Mad King's dad. And then, you know,
Mm.
so we at least know there. That's as far as like what the
Okay.
show has told us.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's as far back as we know.
Because it's about every 100. If you live a whole life, I feel like 2 kings per 100 years, 2 to 3 kings per 100 years if they're
Mhm.
living a good life. But
Yeah, yeah,
in this
not
world,
wartime.
in
Yeah,
this world, 100 years could be a lot of kings. You could go, I don't know, a lot of queens, maybe even. I don't know. I feel like Rhaenyra might rule, but it might just be for like 3 months.
Mhm.
So it's
on
not,
some
like
on
I
some Prince Charles shit.
I don't know.
Longest wait for the throne, shortest reign. You know,
Yeah, I'm
at least it's
afraid.
what it's looking like.
I don't even know if she gets there. Is
I
the
don't think she does.
is
That's
the
what
thing.
sucks. And maybe she does. Maybe that is the subversion of expectation. We know, according to Game of Thrones, there has never been a queen of the Seven Kingdoms, and that is what they tell us. But maybe it is one of those things where the history has rewrote itself, and they've ignored her reign.
Yeah,
Um,
I guess we are dumb. I'm thinking of like United States history and stuff, but we've never had a woman president yet. And it's like it's never been done. It's like it's never been done, so we can't ever do it. But it's like there have been other countries, empires that have existed that have had women rulers before. So it's like
yeah,
it has been done actually, and it's like so that is a it's a weird. It's just we're so in the mindset. Like even today, it's like
yeah.
why is it weird to think of a female president? But it's because it's not normal.
We've had
Yeah.
45 dudes, and only one of them was black. You know,
Damn, we do not
like
have a good ratio right now. I
no,
mean,
not at all. It's fucking awful, actually.
the
It's pretty
ratio
consistently like,
bad.
oh, different version of the same guy. Let's go.
Even our
Like it's
parent company like fucking got, they even let women rule, That's kind of
yeah,
that I mean,
right.
that's
Parent
crazy. Like
company.
country yeah, company. I mean basically at
Yeah,
this point
at this
parent
point, yeah.
company. But no, not company. Country there. I guess glass of wine. It's not normal for me. I'm not like it's not I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, but
Maybe my
like
brain's racing, but
every once in a while. Yeah, no, I get it. You got a little flush in the cheeks or something. I'm
yeah.
there. I get it. But yeah, no. Regardless, all this to say, I'm so excited for whatever season 2 is going to bring. I cannot wait, and we will be back next Monday on
Mm.
Fire and Bloom to give you coverage of the season 2 premiere of House of the Dragon. And in the meantime,
Damn.
if you want to keep up with the podcast, we got a lot going on. You should follow on Twitter, follow at Penny Bloom Pod. That's where you'll be able to keep up with everything. Because we got a lot going on right now. Wednesdays, we are doing Fulcrum, a Star Wars podcast. And this Wednesday will be our second episode where we will be covering season 1, episode 3 of The Acolyte. So we're going to be covering 2 TV shows, House of the Dragon and The Acolyte, for a little bit. First time we're doing that in a long time. But yeah, so Wednesdays, go to Fulcrum, a Star Wars podcast where you will find us covering The Acolyte. And on Fridays, you can head to Cinema Surprise, our new movie podcast where we surprise each other with what movie we're going to be covering the next week. Last week was Tron Legacy, and this week I've got Casablanca coming at you, and I'm
Mm.
so very excited. We're covering a classic this Friday. It will be available here on Penny Bloom Podcast, but I would ask that you please go listen on Cinema Surprise. It would just do me a lot of favors. I would appreciate it greatly. Um, but yeah, I'm very excited. I can't wait. You can find Penny Bloom Dispatch on patreon.com/PennyBloomPod for free. It's just a segmented, more timely show. And that's Monday or Tuesday weekly. Not this week, but next week we will be back. Um, but yeah. House of the Dragon season 2, baby. Fire and Bloom is
Damn.
back. Let's fucking do this shit.
Damn, damn. Here we are there. It's crazy. It is approaching. We
mhm.
will I
It
don't know.
it's
We will
that
be
time. It
having
is
new
that
thrones
time.
in our life, but okay.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
always cover Thrones. That's just a guarantee. It's just a guarantee. But
Mhm.
with that, I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, peace, love, bloom, fire, and blood.
Ooh.